Yo, what's up guys and welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing a Premier League prediction from the 2023-24 season. Yeah, I don't really know why I'm doing this because I'm probably the worst person to think about this type of shit, but let's just get straight into this. And we're going from 20th place to first place, of course. Starting low, going up. Let's get started. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of sad that I put them here, but Luton Town, you're going down. Like I said before, I want their story to continue, and I want them to stay in the Prem, but their only signing so far is, I believe, Tahith Chong, and I don't think he's even a Premier League player, so yeah, they're 20th in my opinion. Next up on the chopping block in 19th place, I'm gonna put Everton. Basically, they've deserved to go down like the last 3 seasons. They haven't sold anyone yet. They haven't bought anyone yet. That's actually important to the club. So yeah, I don't think it will change this season. I do think there's teams that are just better than them. On the 18th place, and I feel kind of bad saying it because I basically put 2 teams that got promoted to go down again. And it does happen quite a lot. Like last season was one of the few seasons I believe that none of the promoted teams went down. But yeah, Sheffield United is going down again. I haven't even looked at them, and I just don't believe they'll stay in the Premier League. I just don't think so. Their team is just average, and I was even surprised that they even got promoted, in my opinion. It's just a big surprise. And I know they actually got 2nd place in the championship, but yeah, that doesn't really matter in the Prem. So now that we got every single relegation team done, we can move on to the teams that almost get relegated next season. And I'll be honest, it was kind of hard to get these in like a state that I like them in, because it's just hard to guess which teams just don't go down but are still really bad. So in 17th place, I've got Nottingham Forest. Last year, I think there was a win against Man City that actually pulled them out of relegation, which is great for them, but I just don't expect them to even get near that type of level. I just think they probably won't go down again, but they will probably be like the same position as last year. Okay, this next one, 16th place, is probably one that I will get wrong, but I just don't see him actually being better than last season. I just see him being worse. So in 16th place, I've put Wolverhampton. They lost their best player to Saudi Arabia, and I don't think they'll actually keep up with the rest of the teams, basically, because losing one of your best players like that and then just not really buying a good replacement, I mean, at this moment in time at least, it's not looking good, bruv. And in 15th place, I've actually put Bournemouth. I don't think they're a great team, but I mean, somehow they just win quite a lot of games, like more than I thought they would this season. And I think they will do the same next season. They haven't signed anyone in particular, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But you understand what I mean. They haven't even signed anyone yet that I actually think would help their team, but you know, I still don't see them getting relegated and just doing a bit better than Wolves. And now 14th place, I do believe it's going to be the current championship champions in Burnley. And I'll be honest, if they can actually keep their momentum going as they have been doing like the last few months, I mean, they can actually get higher. But if they drop their momentum and basically stop playing the way they played in the championship, they'll lose a lot more and they could actually get relegated, in my opinion, because their team has a few good talents, but I think most of their team is just mediocre. And that's the reason why they're 14th place, in my opinion. And next in line on 13th place, it's going to be Brentford, I think. Basically, without Tony's goals, they won't get better. That's all I'm saying. Like, they're decent, but without a good striker like Tony, I don't think they're going to make it very far. And now 12th in the league, I think West Ham will be better. I mean, they lost their best player, but at the same time, that that much money. Like, I'm not even gonna say the amount because it's too much, and also because I forgot it. But yeah, they got so much money now to spend on players with the amount that Declan Rice gave them. I mean, Arsenal gave it to him, but you understand what I mean. With that amount of money, I think they're gonna buy a lot of good players, and their team will only become better. And of course, Europa League money also helps because they won the Conference League. And now in 11th place, Spurs. Totspur, well, they're gonna lose Kane probably this year. And if they don't, I think they'll get higher in the league. But if they lose Kane, which is looking very likely, I mean, with Kane's amazing season, with like 30 goals, 30 assists, I think it was something like that, which is amazing. They got 10th or 8th, something like that, I don't even remember. But without Harry Kane, they'll be worse off. And Son is linked to go to Saudi Arabia. So even Heung-min Son, who wasn't great this season but could be great next season, if he isn't there as well, I just think their team goes down very badly. And for 10th place, I predicted Fulham to be here. I just think they'll stay in the same position. They haven't really changed much of their team so far. And I don't really see them signing anyone in particular, which is kind of a theme going on so far. But yeah, I think they're just staying the same, and that's just it. I don't really have anything else to say about them. On the 9th place, and I think Crystal Palace will be there. Just a tiny bit of an upgrade from last season. And I mean, at the first part of last season, they were great. In the middle part, they were not so good. And in the last bit of the season, they were great again. So I think it will be a similar season, but just a bit better. On to 8th place in the league, and right now, this is the last team that won't be playing European football next season, and I think it's gonna be Brighton. I'm sorry, they're losing a lot of players very quickly. They also signed a couple of players as well, but they are going to be playing European football next season, which, I mean, let's be fair, most of the teams that play European football for the first time in ages or ever are not, they usually don't really take it that well, and they just lose a lot of games in the league. Look at West Ham. Last season they almost got relegated, and they still won the Conference League, but that's because they focused on the Conference League. And I think Brighton will kind of be the same as that, but I think they will be a bit better than West Ham. And now the first team in Europe next season. I think Chelsea will be 7th place, and I still think it's pretty high, but at the same time they've sold basically their entire team already, and I think that with that money they'll buy a couple of good players. I just think it will go better for them next season. And I think 7th place, it's still not too high. Like, I mean, they won the Champions League not that long ago, but I still think they're not good enough for Europa League. Into 6th place, I think Aston Villa will go one spot up. I think they'll do the opposite of what Brighton will do, which is of course what I think they will do. I think they'll do great in Europa League. They got Unai Emery as manager. He loves the Europa League. He knows how to handle it. And they also signed a really good, actually, centre-back in Pau Torres. And I think if they keep up these signings, they also signed Tielemans, which is great, a great signing. Like, they signed a couple of great players already, and I think that's probably the reason as to why they'll do all right. They'll stay at the same spot and just go one spot upwards. I just think they'll be great. On to 5th place, and the team that will be missing out this year in the Champions League, I think it's going to be Newcastle. I mean, they signed Tonali, who I really love. He's amazing. But I just think their team is pushing above their weight at the moment, and I think that will probably be the reason as to why they're not going to get Champions League next season. And I mean, it's the players that are pretty great. Their team is great, amazing, really good, but just not good enough, in my opinion, to get into the top 4. And into 4th place, top 4, I think it's going to be Liverpool. I think 4th place for Liverpool is pretty great. I mean, they've really upgraded their midfield, which was one of their weak spots last season. But I do think they won't be any higher than 4th. I think the top 3 is just a bit better than Liverpool. But one thing about Liverpool is that they can actually go on a really good run every single season. So I don't really know what to do with them. And 3rd place is going to be Man United, in my opinion. I mean, they've sold De Gea. They're going to sell De Gea. And Onana's going to be joining them. And I do believe they're similar amount of level. They're not that much different in quality. So I don't really think anything will change for Man United. I just think 3rd place will be where they stay. But I only put them 3rd place if they sign a new striker. That's the only... If they sign a new striker who's actually a good striker, like a solid number 9, then I think they'll be 3rd place. And I do think they will sign a first striker, I mean. So that's the reason why I put them 3rd. Jesus, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But that's the reason why. And I genuinely feel really bad doing this. But I think Arsenal will get 2nd again. Like, I don't know why, but because, like, talent-wise, they should probably be, like, 3rd or 4th. But I do think Arsenal could get 2nd place. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think Havertz is a good signing, in my opinion. Like, I don't even know why they signed him, because, I mean, he won't play striker, he won't play cam, because Ødegaard is better at cam. So I don't know why they signed him, but Declan Rice is a good signing, even though they paid way too much for him. Like, they've signed a good couple of players that... And, I mean, if they did it once before, why can't they do it again? I just have a gut feeling that they'll get 2nd place again. And I mean, 1st place, you already know who's going to be 1st place. I mean, Man City in 1st is just... The Premier League is a farmers' league. Like, let's be honest, Man City is probably the best team in the world. They won the Champions League for the first time last year. And I just think you can't beat City from the title. Arsenal bottled it, I know. I mean, that's the only reason as to why they did win it last year. Is because Arsenal bottled it. But at the same time, I do think the Premier League will stay with City for a long time. And I don't think that will change next season. So I'm going to be putting a prediction, like a lineup from all the teams from top to bottom, in my opinion, what my prediction was right here. And then I'm going to be clocking off. So I'm going to say, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And please tell me what I did wrong. And then at the same time, I only want to say one more thing, and that is goodbye.